Guten Morgen, YouTubers. So today I need to replace my windshield washer nozzles. And I thought, what the heck? I'll film some of it. Now, as you can see, I've already removed my old ones. And helpful tip, when you're pulling them out, clamp on like some needle nose vice grips or something to hang on to the hose before it drops down inside there forever, which I did not do. So I'm going to do a very, lazy way of redoing the hosing as well as putting the nozzles in. So come on along. So the parts are as such. I have 1/2-inch tubing, which is just a hair small, so I may have to heat it up just a bit to get it over the new nozzles. Well, these are old, these are new, and then I'm just going to use the push connector T to bring the left and right washer hoses together and then run it down to the pump. So let's see how that turns out. Okay, so with the glove box out of the way, everything's pretty accessible actually. So the hose is going to be coming in around here somewhere. What I'm going to do is go to the outside and start pushing the new line through, and hopefully I will see it pop out on this side. And once I've done that, I'll go ahead and trim it and push the nozzle on it and push the nozzle home. So let's go see if that works. Okay, so again, I have a feeling this will be the easy part, but yes, the line fed straight through, no problems. And now I'm going to bring in enough to, I got 20 feet of line of the 1/4-inch plastic tubing. So I'm going to bring in plenty, so I know I'll have enough to connect it to the T and head it down there. So let me do that now. And here we can see the old line coming from the washer tank / pump. And then it's going to go right under the little tunnel, I guess, or engine cover. Not really an engine cover because that's in the back. But the, whatever all this is covering up. Because that's where the tube runs. So that's probably going to be our best bet to run it back the other way. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull that cover off. Okay, so with the cover off and the floor mats pulled away, kind of have a better idea of where that guy goes. Now, whether I'm going to be able to follow that path, I have no idea. So let's take a look and find out together. And again, so far so good. This went pretty easy. I just snaked it through. Then I ran it down until I'd poke around a little bit, but then it found its way. And so now I've got my tubing out this far. So now I think I'm going to jump over to the driver's side, which is definitely going to be more challenging, and see what it's going to take to get their tube over to this side. So let's go see what we can do. And so like I mentioned before, and I forgot to get a picture of it, basically I just snaked the tube through and I left the big roll outside. So now I'm just going to cut it, leave about a 8-10 inches so that I can put the nozzle in, which I'm not going to do yet, but that gives you an idea of where we started. Okay, so I'm ready to pull the wire and the hose back through the hole. A couple things I'm trying here. So one, wipe down the tube and the wire with some kind of anti-grease, alcohol, something like that. Get all this crud off of it. Okay. Then I wrapped a piece of tape around the wire first. Okay, that does a couple things. One, it gives it some traction to the tubing, fills up the space a little bit more. And then I came back and I overwrapped from that part that was on the wire all the way over the tube. So that way everything has a pretty good amount of traction, so it shouldn't pull out. Famous last words. So we'll see if that actually goes through or not. Well, that did work. So I was able to pull it through gently, and it came right out the other hole. Granted, it's a tight fit, but now we have something to work with as far as trying to push it down to follow the other line. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the line back a little bit, push the tape to follow the other one, and then hopefully I can snake it down. And again, that seemed to work very well. So there's our wire, and it just came right through the hole right there. So now what I'm going to do is feed the rest of that wire through and gently see if I can pull the tubing with it. Okay, another thing just to keep in mind, make sure you're feeding enough tube through, because obviously that tubing is going to grab onto that raw edge and keep you from pulling it through, and you don't want to just manhandle it, pull it through, because if you take your time, the next thing you know, there it is. Came through just fine. So now I'm taking my time and I'm going to run it down next to the other one. So the next thing I'm going to do is run the new line from the washer pump, and I'm going to follow it back up to about that point, and that is probably where I'm going to put the T for those two and hook it all up. So let's see how that goes. Okay, just a quick hint. So when you're pulling that line out, it came off the nipple pretty easily. Just take your time so you don't snap it off. But because you have that swelled up end, just cut it off. That way it's going to go through those white clamps a heck of a lot easier. And so just like that, now we have our feed line tapped into the T. I just used the same tape to run the new water line. I cut the old one short, but I left it long enough that I could tuck it into that tape for some unknown reason in case I need it, or to keep it from rattling. So then it just comes down through those other guys, and then it's going to connect to the pump. Leave yourself some slack. You don't have to pull it tight, because things heat, cool, expand, contract. So don't pull it super tight. Just leave yourself a little bit of slack everywhere. And because it would be silly to put everything back together only to find out I forgot something, so test it first, and as you can see, beautiful. Pumps it right through, no problems. So now I feel confident going ahead and putting everything back together, and lastly putting the nozzles on. Okay, because I'm me, so somewhere I misplaced one of the little fasteners for the tunnel. Anyway, it's always good to have one of these little kits from Amazon that have all the different type of body clips in it, because that doesn't become a showstopper then. All right, we're all buttoned up in the glove box arena, as well as the tunnel. So one helpful hint, if you don't have a long Phillips head, get one. It makes it so much easier to find those little guys and get them in there. Otherwise, that probably takes more time than the rest of the job. Just trying to get the glove box back in. Okay, so with that 1/4-inch line, it is a tight fit. So just put it in the sun for a little bit. It'll get just malleable enough to push right over that nipple. That's about how much extra length I left. I test fitted it, so I know it'll bury into the body of the truck just fine. But also gives you a little room if for whatever reason you got to try and pull them back out. You got some room to work. All right, so that's all there really is to it. And honestly, it's just not that bad. One thing to keep in mind is there are on the little tiny nozzles, they're like little ball joints. So you can stick a little pick in there and steer them around till you get them hitting right exactly where you want to. Otherwise, now I've got a fully functioning washer system for about, I think I paid $30 for the nozzles and another $10 for the tubing and the T, in an hour's time, literally an hour. So thanks for watching, man. Talk to you. Oh, hey, look, I found the 4th fastener right on my dashboard.